Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch. Night after night in the dark, I'm alone. So find me a
Hey, Keisha.
Hey, Mary Payne. How are you?
Hey, I just happen to have that song queued up for when we do Indian matchmaking and Jewish matchmaking. So, because last week I noticed that I did not write the name of the episode down. So then I went and looked, and the name of the episodes, literally episode 1 was called Matchmaker, Matchmaker. And episode 2 is called Make Me a Match. So they're just using all the
lyrics.
Words from the song. So every week it will apply, and I'll play it right here.
So you will know every week before the show even comes out exactly what it's going to be titled.
Yes.
Got you.
Yes. So it is. Let me tell y'all what, y'all. Keisha is at her house. We got dogs. We got little children's. We got. I don't know. Are there cats? Are there are there old people walking around?
Yes, all of the above. And everyone's about to get a text message right now.
Tell them we are a professional organization, and
we are. We struggle through it sometimes, but yes, we are very professional.
Now, I have noticed that you have a new picture behind you. Now you got the Lord of the Rings shield, and now you got a picture of the dude from The Office that's married to Megan Mullally.
Yes, I love him. But this is James's office, and then what you can't see is there's Lord of the Rings artwork all over here as well on the other side.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Because I'm still working on my city room / office. And when I say I'm still working on it, I haven't done anything to it in almost a year.
Okay. Well, we need producer James to get on that. And you need a nice padded room that doesn't have Lord of the Rings shit on the wall, that has Keisha shit on the wall.
Now, I have a piano in the room, my sitting room. I already have the piano, Cordelia. I've got my big Victorian black looking couch in there, whose name is Asha. Okay. And everything else is like a little shit show over there. Like literally right now, it contains pillows that I need to take back to the store, Easter decor, and a whole bunch of shit that I've bought for the office that I've done nothing with. Yeah.
I buy things and I'm like, that didn't match like I thought it would.
That was the issue with the pillows. I'm like, these pillows are not big enough. I know I've got the chandelier up too, but that is it. Yeah.
Does your little sitting area have a door?
Fuck no.
All right.
I know.
Now that'll be the next thing. Do the next thing. Get you a little like a privacy screen.
Something. But they would just come through. Are you recording? Oh, sorry. I'm recording. They always go back and retreat and whisper. I'm like, well, you've already been loud, so you might as well keep being loud. But yes, that's how it goes.
Well, my son goes on the opposite side of this wall and just turns the shower on. And then because he's a teenage boy, he just lets it run for a real long time before he gets in. So it's just, and then the hot water.
Okay, hold on. I feel personally attacked. I do the same thing
for a long time before you get in.
Yes.
Why?
And producer James thinks it's the weirdest thing. I do that with like the faucet when I'm about to brush my teeth, wash my face. You want it to warm up good.
Okay, so once it warms up, do you get in or you even wait? Because I think he waits like 10 more minutes. I'm like, do we look like we're made out of money? Like, why are we running this hot water?
I do the same thing. I start doing things. I'm like, oh shit, that water's on. Let me hurry up and get in. Like it's a little steamy in this bathroom. I wonder why. And it's like, oh yeah, the shower's on. Yeah, I do it. It's a habit. I just do it.
Well, the water conservationists are coming after you now. That's it.
And me and John.
You and
We're
John
on
come
the
after John
hit
too.
list, 1 and 2, 1 and 2.
He just gets shamed about it. He keeps doing it though. Because what are we gonna do? We're gonna like unlock the door and go in there. I mean, he's in there.
Yeah, it's like, what are you gonna do? I'm trying to get clean in here. My intentions are pure. So,
Well, I have to tell you that I got back from my trip, and you just got back from your trip, and so
mhm.
we are trying to pull ourselves together. We're recording later than we wanted to because really at this point, like an hour later than we wanted to, because I got my mom staying here, and both my sisters are in town. My niece is in town. My brother-in-law is in town. Everybody's here for the big gender reveal of my niece's baby, which is a boy. So we're very excited about that. And then her whole family on her husband's side were in town. So, whew.
And see, I have no excuse. I just overslept and forgot to set my alarm.
Well,
I was like,
that's
oh,
me
shit. Like, let me
every
text me
weekend.
a Payne. And we had a gender reveal while we were in Vegas, but they recorded it here at the house. And we're having a boy too. My brother's having another boy.
Oh,
And we are
yay.
too excited because it's been nothing but girls.
Yeah, right.
Right?
That's right. So the first grandbaby on this side is a boy, James,
Mm.
and the godchild, and then the Christ child, and then she's also having a baby, but she's one of the don't find out type people, so we won't know till that baby
Yeah.
comes out.
Oh, the pressure, the pressure, the pressure.
Yeah,
I mean, I get it. That's one of life's last greatest surprises, but goddamn,
yeah,
I need to know what color to make the layette. I need to know
I
what color to buy. I need to know, is it bows or hats, you
I
know?
know, I know. Well,
Yeah.
that's how my niece is. She had to know. She's too type A to not know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me, like when I had Anna, I did not find out, and then when I had John, I had to know because I had a 2-year-old running around the house. I didn't have time for surprises. It's like, mm-mm.
And I think you could, when I was born, you couldn't tell yet. You couldn't do the
Oh, when
ultrasound to
we were
determine the
born, no, no,
sex.
no, mm-mm,
Yeah.
none of that.
Mm-mm. No, none
And
of
my
that.
and my mom said they would put you to sleep, and you'd wake up like a day later and be like, "Here's your baby."
Huh? What do
Yeah,
you mean put you to sleep?
they'd put you to sleep and take the baby out, and you wouldn't know. Yeah. Or you wouldn't remember it. They'd give you something that was like, she doesn't remember being in labor with any baby. But I mean, she did. She pushed him out, but she
Whoa.
didn't have any memory of it. Mm-mm. She just woke up and there it was. Yeah. Isn't that
That's
crazy?
crazy.
Hmm.
Could you imagine?
Be pretty great. It's like when they give me these back injections, I wake up in the car and I'm like, wait, how'd I get in this car? Yeah.
And I was a Nazi at the hospital with Skylar because we came in with 4 bags
Okay.
and she never wore hospital clothes. So it's like, soon as she's born, this is the Ralph Lauren outfit that she needs to put on. Here's the
Yes.
hat that matches it. But if she has pretty hair, here's the bow that matches it. It was a wardrobe change. It was such a big thing that other people from other departments were coming to see this baby. They're like, we've
Oh.
heard about this pretty little baby with all the pretty clothes. Yeah, she never wore anything hospital. Mm-mm. Nope.
Well, yeah, when the baby's born, you have to have your going home outfit, of course.
Take me home outfit,
Yes.
which I
And
just
so
looked at the other day, and it just, she's getting ready to turn
that's
21 next weekend. So I'm just like,
oh.
all the emotions. Yes, my
That's what,
baby.
my niece had all the baby clothes, so she found out what it was, and then that afternoon, she went down to some of the stores, and she had all the clothes, like, spread out on the bed that the one that
Mhm,
they did so what they did for the gender reveal was they opened a present, and they had already gone to the store, Monday's Child, where I used to work in Old Town. They'd gone to Monday's
mhm.
Child and picked out a boy and a girl outfit and picked out the monogram font, and then they
Uh-huh.
left. They went back
Mhm.
and picked it up, and it was wrapped, so they didn't know. So at the gender
That's
reveal,
cute.
they opened the present and pulled it out, and it was the blue onesie that was monogrammed, and, not onesie, it was like a day gown. And
Mhm.
so she's like, depending on the size of the baby, that could be the going home outfit, but they have a couple other
True.
choices, of course, already.
Yes, yes, yes,
And
yes,
then
yes.
this afternoon, we're going to a private shopping session at,
Oh.
Monday's Child because my mom's in town, and she wants to buy the baby some clothes, so
Oh,
it's
I
very
forgot to tell you
exciting.
this. On
What?
our flight home, we were surrounded by nothing but your people.
Oh, my people, the Southerners, the Mississippians?
Mississippians.
Really? The Mississippians have
Y'all
taken over
loud.
Vegas?
I looked at James. I said, "Ooh, Mary Payne, people are loud. You're from Mississippi too? We are too. I went to this college. Oh, Miss, that was you. Oh, okay. I went for."
Well,
I
that's
was
what we
like,
have to do. That's what we have to do. We have to figure out a connection, and it may take a minute. Sometimes it doesn't take long, but that's
it
what we
didn't
have to
take
do.
long. It
Yeah.
did not take long. And I was like, what are the chances that we're sitting here by 4 different groups of people from Mississippi? I said, Mary Payne did this.
Well, you should have leaned back and said, do you know Mary Payne Cosser? Oh,
Here's
yeah.
the thing. I was so tempted to say, do y'all know Mary Payne? Mary Payne Gilbert? Anyone? Okay, so yeah. I was like, ooh, okay. I was like, they louder than us.
And
Like,
they're
geez.
chatty on the way home from Vegas. And it seems like you might be tired. You might be tired.
And I was just had my earbuds in and trying to watch The Woman King. And yeah, and I was like, and they sat right by us.
And you're like, well, maybe after 30 minutes they'll settle down. Yeah.
They did after an hour.
Okay, all right. And then you had a few more hours of rest. Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, speaking of Mississippi, let's get talking about Match Me Abroad, Season 1, Episode 2. Matchmaker. So this one's called Make Me a Match. Okay? That's how we're going to figure out the lyrics. So we're going to start with Stanika from Jackson, Mississippi. She is using a matchmaker in Morocco, if you remember from last week. She's never had a date. Remember, she had the weight loss surgery. She is how old? 32. So Stanika calls Nina, her matchmaker in Morocco. It's less than 24 hours until she's going to Morocco. And she says, you got to tell me about the first guy you're introducing me to. And Nina says, I'm only going to tell you that he's very nice and he's tall. And talking ahead, Nina says, sometimes pictures can be deceiving. I don't want to set any expectations. So no, I never show anybody the pictures.
Okay, Nina, with the good eyebrows. I'm going to need to have a little bit more information if I'm flying across the world to meet something, a selfie, a picture of his feet. I need to see something.
It's all trial and error with these matchmakers because, you know, on Indian matchmaking, which we've covered over on Supercast, Seema Auntie will sometimes take somebody 2 or 3 bio datas. It has a little picture and it tells every single detail about them. And then she lets them pick.
Yes.
Sometimes she'll only take somebody 1 bio data and she'll say, I don't give you too many options. I want you to go with this one. So I think it just depends on the person. Like, is this person going to be overwhelmed with too many options or are they decisive, you know?
And I think Stankonia would most definitely it would be too overwhelming for her to have too many people. But damn, at least give me one. Like, for example, she's already got the date set up. So can I just have that guy's whole bio? So I can kind of know what's
just
up?
like a little picture of just his little head looking at the camera or something. But then maybe she would overanalyze it too much. Maybe she knows her. She's going to overanalyze it for 24 hours and then she's going to get in her head and she's, you know, so maybe we're just going to, it's better. Maybe Nina has learned it's best just to spring it on them.
I would be so scared.
I would be scared too.
Yeah.
But you know, I've been on several blind dates.
No.
I have. And one, in college, everybody talked about this guy and he had dated another girl in my sorority and she was cute. So I was like, well, I figure he's cute. But there's no way back then to like see a picture. I have to like get my car and drive over to the Fidel house to see this guy. So I just went out with him and whoo, was he cute. I dated him for a while.
That is a blind date. I have never, ever, ever, ever been on a blind date. But I used to watch the show Blind Date, which was very good. Do you remember that show, Blind Date? You don't know that show?
I kind of remember that.
Yes, I love that show. It was so freaking funny. But yeah, I can't do the blind date. I'm like, I need to see if you look like your breast stinks. You know what I mean? And sometimes you could see a picture like, oh, that person looks like their breast stinks a little bit, or that person had a little crust in their eyes.
Everybody on Love After Lockup. So looks like their breath stinks. So Nina tells us she has never set up anybody that is their first date ever in their life. Like she set up people, but this is her first date in her life. So
that's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure. So Stanika tells us she's never been very far away from Mississippi, but now she's going to Marrakesh. So she arrives in Marrakesh. Now they tried to make it look like she's traveling. And I was like, y'all know she's in the Atlanta airport. Have y'all been to the Jackson, Mississippi airport? This is not it because there are 3 baggage carousels, 3. And there, I mean, it's tiny. It's tiny. It's a tiny little airport. So she arrives and a guy named Abdu picks her up. He works for Nina. And she's always like, is this a guy? Because she thought he was cute. And he's like, no, I'm just the driver.
I thought that was it. I was like, okay, she's found her perfect match right there. She can just get right back on the plane and go home. She's found, because of the way she looked at him and She was like, this tall piece of chocolate with these good big teeth and everything like that. I thought that was it. I thought she was going to be good to go after that.
Abdu was just the driver. So he picks her up, and as she's in the car, she gets real country real fast. She's like, look at this. Cars and mopeds and donkeys. This is hectic out here. I was like, come on, girl.
She did get real country, and that's like with people from Texas. Sometimes that accent just comes out, and they're like, someone was like, "Why the fuck are you talking like that? That is not how you talk." But my anxiety went up during that whole driving scene. I was, how do you say, Stanika?
So just think of Stanika.
Stanika. Got you. So if I quit calling her Stankonia, I can remember her damn real name.
Yeah, it's Stanika. That's Stanika. I've written it down. Stanika, like Danica, in my notes, so I don't forget. Yeah.
My anxiety was up there right with her during that driving scene. I was like, I may need a goddamn Xanax because there's a donkey right next to this vehicle I'm in. There's a man in a moped on top of the vehicle that I'm in. It was a lot. I would have been like, oh my God.
It's like all those scenes in India when it's just like buses and cars and those little tuk-tuks, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yes. Oh my God. It's too much. I was with her. I felt her at that moment. I was like, girl, I would have been like, let me out. I'll just walk.
He keeps saying, I'm going to take you to your riad. You're going to arrive at your riad. So I was like, are we saying riad? Is that a word for house? So I looked it up. A riad is a traditional Moroccan house or palace with an indoor garden and courtyard located within the old city Medina walls. Generally, a riad is fully enclosed inside, insulated with high-strength neutral walls with minimal vents to keep out heat and street noise. So it's like all the outside of it is walled with no windows or vents, and then everything faces inward into an indoor garden. So when you're in there, you're really insulated in your own little world, which is kind of cool, I think.
As long as it's cool in there, because I don't do warm, I don't do hot, none of that.
Yeah, so I like how it keep out the heat and the street noise. So she's in her room and she's getting ready, and we didn't get like a full picture of what this place is. We just got this room which looked gorgeous, and she looks great, and she's going to meet Nina. And so they're talking, and Nina says, "What's the deal now? Why don't you know how to date?"
Right. Yes, Stanika, that's a good question.
And Stanika says, I don't know. I just like interesting men who like to have deep conversations. I don't like the usual, whatever. But I mean, that's kind of the bullshit you have to get through on the first couple of dates,
because you're trying to impress people. You want to talk yourself up a little bit. But I have to wonder, is she a virgin? She must not be, because they would have added that.
Well,
she's never been out on a date.
Never been on a date. I mean, that means she hadn't been up to the club and picked somebody up, but
a booty call or something like that.
Yeah. And maybe she just said, please don't talk about that. Like my mother would be horrified. Please don't talk about that. The virgin.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyway, Nina says, well, I found a guy for you to go on a date with. He's a successful tour guide here, and he knows all about American culture, and he actually is very interested in moving to the U.S.
Red flag.
But Stanika likes that. She doesn't think that's a red flag. So, okay, great. Which means he totally speaks English and all that. So
in my head, I'm like, he wants to just use me to get a green card.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
But here's the thing, though. I could be okay with that if you got cash and you look good. I'll get you in the country. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yep. You just got to stick with me at least 4 years.
Yep.
So Stanika says to Nina, are you going to go on the date with me? She's like, no, I don't normally do that. And she goes, you have to go with me. So she goes, all right, fine. I'll go with you. But then she tells us I'm going to dip out, if things are going well.
But I don't blame Stanika. I would have wanted her to go too. I know nothing of this country. Are they their pay phones? Do I have cell phone reception?
Right.
I'm going with not just a stranger, but everything is foreign to me right now.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
She also has a camera crew and a producer,
I don't know them.
Well, she definitely doesn't know the crew, because that's a crew that's in Morocco, but surely the producer. Yeah. So Stanika's like, she had brought some cute shoes and she brought some tennis shoes. And she goes, they just told me this is a walk-in tour date. So I will be wearing my tennis shoes. I do not care. And I was like, that's me.
Would you go on a walking date?
I would if the weather was right. I'm talking about 65 degrees. But if it's above 70 something, I'm like, no. Too hot for mommy.
I would be like, okay, we gonna walk for a few minutes, and we gonna have to get one of them donkeys to carry me the rest of the way, because I cannot do this entire walking tour on my own 2 feet. I just can't.
And remember, Debbie in Morocco got on that donkey. It didn't go well for Debbie. She fell right off.
See, I haven't watched this season. Did she fall off the donkey?
Yeah.
I think I saw.
She does. She does. After she sings it a song, she says, this donkey loves Miss Debbie. Come on, donkey. We have a spiritual connection. Miss Debbie is the Jennifer Coolidge of this season. She's real weird. Yeah.
So did the donkey just like, after she sang the song, just go boom? Bye, bitch.
No, she has a it's like a saddle on it or whatever, like a blanket on it, and it's moving around, and then she just plump falls off. She's 70 years old. She just falls off. This donkey's like,
Nobody
told me
and
this is what I was
singing.
doing. Speaking of coming over for a visa, my daughter told me yesterday that somebody she works with at the dog groomer was getting married today. And I was like, what? He is? Because I know this guy. He grooms our dogs. I go, he is? And she said, I said, how long has he known this guy that he's marrying? And she goes, 5 months. I go, all right, well, that's not terrible. It's not like 5 weeks. I was like, whatever. No. Maybe it's true love. He's in his late 30s. Maybe it's true love. And she goes, green card. And I was like, what? They're saying it out. They're saying the quiet part out loud. They're saying it.
I mean, I'd rather you let me know straight up so I can know what I'm dealing with. Then I can make the decision if I can go along with that or not. So, yeah.
I was like, wow. All right. And I have a 90-day fiance in my behind my house. The guy that lives back there that I've talked about some, he's got a girl back there that I believe is a 90-day fiance situation.
Yeah,
I'm not totally sure.
Well, one of James's friends did it too, and I know 2 people who have done it. And when I tell you, when that 4-year mark came up,
bye-bye.
They were gone. They were gone. Yep.
I hope for the best for the dog groomer because he's a sweet guy. All right, let's move on to our new girl, which is Nathaly. Now, it's spelled Nathaly, but I'm going to say it's Nathaly. So
it's Nathaly, and she is, me, Mary Payne. I'm going to call it like I see it. If it ain't cute, it ain't cute. If it looks funky, I'm going to say it's funky. But she is stunning.
Oh, she is. I was scared you were going to say she's not cute. I was like, are we looking at the same girl? Yeah.
No, you know how people will ask you, what is beautiful to you? Like, what do pretty people look like? It's her. Yes.
Yeah.
She's stunning. Yes.
Pretty people to me look like Riz Ahmed. I think he's beautiful. Do you know that actor?
Who's that? What is he playing?
Well, I think he might be in some of the Star Wars movies, but I didn't see him in that. I saw him on this HBO show called The Night After or The Night Of or something. Anyway, he's gorgeous.
Is he the one that has a twin?
No.
He has big eyes?
No. I know that guy.
You
that's
know what I'm talking about.
iRobot guy. Yeah. The guy that played Freddie Mercury. That's not the guy I'm talking about.
Okay, that's not the guy. Okay.
No, I'll send you a picture of Riz Ahmed later. Okay. So Nathaly went to UC Berkeley, and now she's applying to law school. She loves to go out with her friends and be wild, is what she says. Now, we see lots of, typical pictures of 25-year-olds, like, duck face, short dresses up in the club, looking adorable. She's real cute. She loves to go out with her friends and be wild and party. But at the same time, she's first generation Sri Lankan American. And then we see her doing prayers with her mom. She says her parents are super conservative and she's torn between the two worlds. It's interesting that she talks a lot about how she doesn't know how to be sexy. She doesn't know how to do all this stuff. But she's all in these pictures, like Instagram pictures, where she's looking real sexy.
And then she's got I call them booty scratching fingernails, those long pointy fingernails. I mean, to me, she exudes sexiness.
Yeah.
I don't, But maybe her version of sexy is completely different than what we find as sexy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. So she says, so her mom's name is Wasantha. And so they're in the car, and her mom says, that first, excuse me, she says, that last boy that I found for you was a good match. He was well educated and he was tall. He was a great choice for you. And
I've heard
Nathaly
that before
says,
from my mom.
she's like, I didn't click with him, Mom. I couldn't be myself. There was no spark. This is a lot what we see, especially on Indian matchmaking. It's like, I understand that in your generation you did it this way, but for me, I need to have a connection for somebody before I can like decide to marry them. Like I can't just be like, okay, he's tall, that means I should marry him,
So my parents kind of did that to me.
Oh, they tried to arrange marriage you?
It arranged date. I'll put it that way. And they were really kind of like her mom. They were like, you've never dated a black guy. You need to date a black guy. And what happens? I dated a black guy, got pregnant 3 months later, and broke up with him 6 weeks after she was born. I'm like, I think you guys are done. Like this was a dud. Let me do what I want to do. And now look at me with producer James.
Well, listen, it is not because he was a black guy. He just
no,
a good guy.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
maybe he is a good guy. I don't know.
Okay.
I only know producer James.
It's kind of like a cultural thing. You kind of want to see your kid with someone from their culture. I guess that's what I don't know. Because with me, it's kind of like I don't care who you date, as long as they're not ashy and ugly and dumb. I can't deal with those things.
Okay,
so
all
it's
right.
kind of like you've never tried a black guy, date a black guy, and I'm like, all right, I'll do it. And I'll have to remind them, Rain, see what you did. Remember what you did. Remember. So yeah.
So your mom's out of the matchmaking business. She's out.
Oh, fired. And daddy too. Yes, fired, lost the license and everything. Like, no more.
Oh my God. So Nathaly tells us that Sri Lankan parents want to be involved in the marriage process like an arranged marriage. And she says she calls it more like arranged dating, like you're saying. Like, just try it. Just try it.
Yeah.
So she says, but when she was in college, she studied abroad and she was very into the Columbian guys. And she's hoping that if she goes back to Colombia, she can learn how to be sexy. But to me, you studied abroad and were into Colombian guys. We see all these pictures of you and say you love to be wild and go to the club, but she doesn't know how to be sexy. And I guess I don't know what it means in her mind, right? What does she think that means?
Maybe she doesn't connect well. She isn't connected well or felt confident enough to be sexy with any of the people that she's dating. She didn't really explain it very well when she said it. She's like, I just don't know how to be sexy. I'm like, bitch, you are sexy. Like, right, I'm trying to look like you and be like you. Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't get it. Maybe she means like she doesn't know how to be sexy. Like if she's with a guy, she knows how to be sexy, like taking pictures in the club. Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what it is. Right there.
She's a child of the Instagram culture is what she is.
And that's what it is right there. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So she says, listen, I like Colombian guys because Colombian guys use a bidet and I definitely need a guy who washes his booty after he takes a dump. Nathaly, this is not the way we speak. That is disgusting. This is something that you keep inside and you don't say out loud. That is gross.
Well, so she is letting people know if your booty hole stinks, you need not apply. She needs it to be pristine, Mary Payne. No swamp ass.
But I didn't need her to say washes his booty after he takes a dump. I mean, come on now.
Well, as long as he's got a bidet, he should be okay.
Just remember, like Ji-hoon in Korea, he's like, my whole family have the clean anal.
Yes. Yes.
Anal so clean. Yes. All right. So now she goes shopping with her mom. And she tells her mom, like, just because the family wants to match me with a guy doesn't mean that would be the guy for me. Like, you have to understand.
Right.
And mom says, life is not all about romance. And you should think not just about yourself, but you should think about your parents. And she was like, okay. And Mom says, I won't stop. I'm not going to stop looking for a match. And when you come home from this trip, I will have found you someone.
Yes. She's not, her going to Columbia is not going to take her mom off her path of finding the perfect partner for her kid.
Did you think it was interesting that Nathaly was speaking English? Your mom was speaking back in Sri Lankan. Like her mom never spoke in English, but she understood her completely.
Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. Clearly her mom understands English, but is there such thing as you can understand it, but you can't speak it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that we've seen that some on Indian matchmaking where they'll say, do you speak Hindi? Do you speak Gujarati? And they'll say, oh, I can understand it, but I can't necessarily write it, but I can hear, when you're speaking it, but I don't speak it well back. So also maybe mom doesn't feel confident in her English speaking.
Yes.
So she wants to make sure she's saying what she wants to say precisely, which is, I will not stop my search.
Yes.
So Nathaly tells us she's hired a professional matchmaker in Colombia, and she's taking a big risk to go against her parents. And Mom tells us she found some guy there randomly. We don't know him.
Yep.
And I am a better matchmaker, and I will continue to look. And the matchmaker is same as Susan's. It's Juan.
Yep.
Juan says, I've never had a client like Nathaly. She's young and beautiful, but she comes from a very strict culture where it's the mother who makes the match. So this will be very interesting. Now, I think it's Nina. It's Nina that says she has a 100% success rate. Who's with Stanika. So, yeah, Juan hasn't told us his percentages, but we know that Katarina over in Czech Republic has said she's got an 80%. She's 80%. More honest.
Yeah. Yes, much more honest. Because I'm not buying that Nina has a 100% success rate.
I'm not either. But,
I don't know, but I mean,
and after this,
maybe she does. Well, here's the thing. We'll find out at the end of the season. You're like, girl, we knew you was lying.
Okay. All right, Keisha, I have a new sponsor to tell you about, and I'm very excited. It is Fast Growing Trees. Okay. Have you heard of Fast Growing Trees?
Not at all. No.
Okay. So they came to us as a sponsor, and I'd already heard about it in other places like XM Radio and stuff. And I was fascinated by it. And I told them this when we had a call with them. I was fascinated by it because I have a brown thumb. I do not have a green thumb. I can't plant anything. I never keep anything alive. Yes. And then I never know. I put these pansies out here. I thought they'd be so cute, but then they die because I put them in the wrong sunlight.
Yes.
Or, whatever. It's just not for me. It never has been. If something stays alive one season, I'm thrilled. So
same.
My husband's really into it, and he'll ask me like, did you look and see if it's direct sun or if it's correct for our area? I'm like, no, it just looked pretty. And then he's like,
that's what I want. Yeah.
He's like, and now it's dead. And so you killed it. So I don't have a green thumb. I never know what to plant, anything like that. My mom and my sisters really know a lot about this stuff. And even my nephew's wife was showing us her garden last night, like all these things she's growing and stuff. I was like, But this gene has completely skipped me. So when I went to look at Fast Growing Trees, that's a website, it was super easy. What you do is you go in, I put in my zip code, and then it told me I was zone 7. Then I put in where I wanted to put the tree, which is in my front yard, which is full sun. It is the 7th circle of hell in my front yard in the summer. It is so hot. When you touch the doorknob from the inside, like it burns you. Yeah. So I had to put full sun, and then I did zone 7. And then I said I wanted a tree that was colorful. Narrows it down. Then he gave me choices like, do you like crepe myrtles? Do you like magnolia? Do you like this? And then I kind of clicked on those because I'd heard of them. And then it gave me like I said earlier, I don't need a lot of choices. It gave me 4 or 5 choices, showed me exactly what the tree would look like when it came and when it was big and like how much space it would need around it, everything. For somebody like me, I need it to be as dumb as possible for somebody like me. And it totally worked. So I got a customized recommendation, and I have ordered myself 2. They're called, I'm going to make sure I say it right, Colorama Scarlet crepe myrtle trees to go on each side of my house. I've ordered these 2 trees. They're going to come like 3 feet tall, and I'm going to plant them on each side of my house, and then I get to watch them grow. I'm so excited.
That is such a smart idea. Like, how do people think of this?
I don't know. Because normally if I went to a nursery and bought like a tree, it's like big and bulky, and then it comes with that big ball root thing and you got to dig a hole. And this will be so much easier because it'll tell me what kind of a hole to dig and everything. And let's be honest, my son's going to be digging that hole.
After his shower.
Both he'll probably shower before and after. So they have these plant experts that are available to keep your plants growing healthy after the season and beyond. So they help you during the whole process. They offer the help after you buy it. So somebody like me is like, did I do it right? They have a 30-day Alive and Thrive guarantee. So when I screw it up, they will help me fix it. So it's easy to go. You look at the plants and trees online, but you can also just get like shrubs. Like you don't have to get a tree. You can get shrubs or little plants. You just order and they arrive at your door in a few days. Mine are coming here. I think mine are coming Monday or Tuesday, and I'm super excited. So if you want to do it yourself, Keisha, you join over 1.5 million happy Fast Growing Trees customers. You're going to go to fastgrowingtrees.com/pinkshade and you're going to get 15% off your entire order. It's not expensive to start with, so 15% off is great. So get 15% off your order at fastgrowingtrees.com/pinkshade. All right, now let's go on to Harold.
Hey, Harold.
Sweet baby angel, Harold.
Now, don't forget to smile after each sentence that you say. You got to do a Harold smile.
See, Harold has learned that indicates that he's happy. And I just think
that he's nice.
And he's nice. And we know Harold is adult on the autism spectrum. And I think he is just very straightforward. And I think he does kind of understand jokes a little bit. I think he's cute. So he says he feels tired, but energized. He's got his adrenaline. He's got his 2 suitcases. I guess he's there for like 2 weeks because Katarina's like, you only have those 2 bags? He's like, yeah.
But he has probably has 5 of the same shirt in just different colors. And Harold.
He says these clothes
suspenders.
They are old, but he takes good care of his clothes, so they have lasted.
Yes.
So he knows that his wife is in Prague, and he knows that Katarina is going to find this woman. So she's super excited to see him. And she was like, oh my gosh, meeting Harold in person. She says he does seem like a younger brother. He has very boyish energy. And she's like, I really feel like I need to look after him. Can you imagine some of these men that have gotten off the plane in Prague that are complete creeper creeps, like some of these sex tourists we've seen on this show? And she's like, well, this is refreshing. It's not some weirdo.
Here's Harold. Yes. She just can't get past the braces, as they call them, the suspenders. I was like, braces? I'm like, I don't remember seeing Harold wearing braces. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. That's kind of I've heard the Brits say, the braces instead of a belt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've heard that before. So he meets up with her and she's very excited and she says, okay, now we're going to have to work a little bit. So, Harold, you really make an impression like you're a young boy, like you don't look your age. And he goes, yeah, I hear that all the time. And I think it's because I eat well, I sleep well. And he says, she says, now, Harold, remind me what you told me, how tall you are. And he says, oh, I'm 5'8". And she goes, are you sure? Because to me, you seem 5'6". Now, this is an expert, and this is a woman who can tell how tall you are by looking at you. Because this is her job.
She can. Yep.
She goes, you seem like 5'6". And he just sort of looks over at her like, I've
been made.
Spoiled.
Yes. Dang it. And I should have wore heels.
She says, now, why do you wear the braces? And he goes, well, these are called suspenders. And she goes, right. Okay. That's an American term. Okay. And he says, because my waistline expands and shrinks. So I find this is a great way to hold up my pants. And
that's what I'm going to start doing. my stomach expands and shrinks all the time. One day it's flat. The next day I look 5 months pregnant. I just need suspenders. That's it. Thanks, Harold.
I think it's really funny because she was like, I understand what they're for. But why are you wearing them, you nerd, is what she's trying to say. He says, I've always worn them. This is what I like. So then in her talking head, she goes, here's the thing, what I need from my clients, and I tell them this, is I need full truth. Let's start with height. Because if you're not telling the truth about these things, what else are you not telling the truth about? And then she says, I'm going to be honest. Harold is probably going to be a very challenging case.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with her 100%.
Now, what is more challenging? Some guy gets off the airplane and he's like that guy from Vegas, David with the wig. We just called him Wig. What's more challenging? Somebody that looks like that with a face full of sun marks and a wig that's like, right into, like that guy.
He was super gross.
Yeah.
He was just
gross. A gross sex tourist like that, or the total opposite, which is Harold, who's just kind of doesn't understand social cues and is like a total nerd. Which is harder?
And they're in the Czech Republic?
Because it's not like, it's like Ukraine. A lot of the women are just very honest. Like, I want to get out of this country, you know?
Yeah. And I think that if she's pretty enough, Harold will be okay with that. Like, okay, let's go. Got your plane ticket ready. I think they're both challenging at different ends of the spectrum.
It's the women. It's like, how is she going to present this to the women? Like, here's this weirdo with a wig, sex tourist guy with his face full of sunspots. Okay, are you okay with that? Or this guy that's like a total nerd that's not quite all together, but looks like he's 25, he's 41, and dresses like Robin Williams from Mork and Mindy. Which one do you want? Pick your poison.
Here's the thing. Harold, his wardrobe can be better. And that's no problem. Just take him shopping.
Can that be fixed though? Because you have a stepson that's on the autism spectrum. How would he feel about changing the way he dresses? How would he feel about that?
If we tell him, hey, this is cool right here, this looks good, he's all for it. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think Harold would, but I don't know. Harold, I think he has a relationship with those suspenders. I don't see him giving those up anytime soon. So, but if you were asking me who I wanted to date, I'd date Harold.
Yeah. Okay. But
instead of wig.
But if you've got to have sex with one of them. Yeah. I mean, one would be fast and one would take way too long. Let's be honest. I don't really know which
I'm kind of thinking Harold's going to be pretty quick. That's what I think. Yeah. No, I think both of them would be. No, because we probably would take some kind of Viagra.
I know. Yeah. And then he'd want to be like, look at your body.
Like he was so gross whenever he would do, it would make me cringe.
I know.
Every single time. Just like, oh, he's so nasty.
And that black leather trench coat, like, hi, I'm a man of mystery.
No, there's no mystery.
Harold's like, I want to show you my rock collection. Like, both choices are bad.
You're going to have extreme patience and really, 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 really want a green card to go with either one of them.
Now, I would say the middle of this would be what Susan comes across in Columbia, which is Miguel. Because he's good looking, successful, but he's an asshole.
But was he really an asshole?
Or was she just, I don't know.
Because we had this discussion. Yeah.
All right. So we see Susan in her inexpensive but very fancy hotel room there in Columbia. And she calls down and was like, how can I get a bottle of wine up in here? And they're like, we only have food. And she's like, what the kind of hotel is this?
Damn it.
So luckily, her matchmaker, Juan, arrives and brings her some wine. She's like, thank the Lord. So she says, I really want to thank you for taking me on. And I just imagine it's going to be a hard task to find anybody to want to date me. And I was like, now, Susan, I don't like that negative stinking thinking. I don't like that.
But maybe she knows something we just don't know yet.
You're good enough and you're smart enough. And doggone it, people like you, Susan. Now, come on now.
She is likable and cute.
She is. And Juan says, look, you're here for a reason. Like, you met me for a purpose. Like, we're just starting. Just be you. You're going to be fine. Like, all of this is happening for a reason. So your first date is tonight. And she's like, uh-oh, good thing I have this wine. And he says, Miguel is going to be a very good fit. He's a successful mechanical engineer. Successful, wealthy. He still has his hair. Okay. All these things. And Juan tells us her list is very long, which makes me nervous. But, and he tells her, you've mentioned many times you're not going to support a man. And she goes, well, my list is not that long, but no, I'm not going to support a man. good. Okay, good. We like all this. This is good. Then in his talking head, he pulls out her list and he starts to read it to us. He says, her must-haves: handsome, empathetic, thoughtful, listens, Christian, funny, charming, loves to explore, plus malleable. I don't know what that means.
Me neither. I don't know what that means. No. What does it mean, Mary Payne?
It means moldable, like Play-Doh. You can mold a person like you want them.
I don't like that. I don't like that was on her list. That's kind of controlling.
I wouldn't want somebody to have that on their list. Malleable, like they can mold me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Susan, you lost a couple of points with that one.
Yeah. And he says the guy has to be verbal. He has to be verbally and action, whatever that means.
Okay.
And emotional vampires need not apply. And Juan says, never seen that one before. And he says, there's not a single person that's going to have everything she wants. But she's doing that so she has an excuse not to let anybody in and keep her walls up.
I think you might be right.
And in the words of Sima Auntie, you will not get 100%. You will get 60 or 70%. Yes.
And I think that people don't realize that. Like,
compromise.
If you get someone who you have to, because you're going to have to do it your whole entire relationship. Like, it doesn't stop at all.
It never stops. No.
Yeah.
I had to compromise this morning. I wanted to stay in bed late and I didn't want to walk the dogs. So that means I had to find somebody else to do that for me.
Well, I had to compromise by then not whoop producer James's ass this morning. That was a compromise.
That was a compromise. That was good.
Yes, it was. So I knew.
So she gets ready to go on her date with Miguel, and she says she's very hopeful. She's talking to Moo in the hotel room. Moo is not chiming in on the shoes. Now, she looks great. Her body's pretty banging. You know?
Yeah, she looks really good. And I like how she dresses also.
Yeah, she dresses for her age, but not like old, but not like young. That's right. She's very like thin and muscular. You can tell she's with Pilates. Yeah.
Probably so.
So Miguel walks in and it seems a little awkward at first. And she says, my first impression is he's handsome. This is good. They make a little small talk. It seems awkward. And he does seem to cut her off whenever she talks, right?
Okay, let's imitate it. You tell me all about you. You're going to be Susan. I'm going to be Miguel.
Okay, I'm Susan. Okay.
Yeah,
I really like to travel, and recently.
Yeah, I like to travel too. I went to Galveston a couple of days ago.
Right. So I'm in financial management, and
I like money too. And what kind of? Yes, I'm rich.
Okay. So this restaurant is good. I was thinking about just getting an appetizer.
No, but I ate at this other restaurant the other day, and I heard about this restaurant, and they have a really good prime steak. That's what we're going to have tonight.
And scene. So he does seem to cut her off when she talks. He does.
So producer James and I were watching this, and I was like, maybe he was just nervous.
Okay.
And producer James like, no, he's an asshole. And I'm like, I felt like he was nervous. And I have really bad social anxiety, so I overcompensate by talking. And I felt like that's what he was doing. Yeah. So I think he was just nerved up a little bit.
I always do that. I find myself just blah, 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 and I feel people looking at me like, is she going to shut up? And I'm like, probably not. I'm going to talk until you talk.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe from him a little bit.
Right. Like if she was taking long pauses between what she was saying, he thought that was his cue to start talking. Now we know he's 51. Did Juan say he was divorced? I can't remember.
I don't remember saying anything like that.
Yeah, I can't remember. I just knew he said he was 51 and, had money and whatever.
And he don't look 51 at all.
He was cute. So they talk about travel and he was like, so many things in common. Yeah. And so he kind of looks down. And then she just right away is kind of doing that like Jim Halpert from The Office, like looking at the camera like, help. So then he asked her, do you like watches? He's like, I'm really into watches. And he's sort of talking about like this watch he found. And then after the pandemic, it was 3 times more. And a lot of guys are into watches. So
yes.
He doesn't know. Maybe she has a really nice like Cartier watch or something. She probably does. And he's like, oh, I see you have a nice watch. Are you into watches? Because I am too. Yeah. And he's trying to sort of make a connection.
He really was. Like throughout the whole conversation, he was just trying to like get in where he fit in.
Yeah.
And he was carrying the conversation more so than she was. But then again, when she did talk, you kind of interrupted. So,
and he's into mechanical engineering. So, of course, he's interested in how timepieces work. And he's trying to yeah. So, and also remember, they probably sat there for an hour and a half and we got probably 4 minutes. So who knows?
True. Yeah.
You know. So she says he's arrogant and boring and never asked a question about her. So she goes to the bathroom and the producer follows in and is like, what do you think? And she was like, he's dry and opinionated and arrogant. And she goes, I just wanted to get like a ceviche appetizers, but he wanted a steak. And now I'm steak stuck. Like a steak? Who does that? I was like, well, somebody who thinks they're having a meal.
That's what, yes, you are going out to dinner. You're on a date. So yes, food is going to be involved.
And so the producer, of course, then asks him, how did you feel? And he goes, yeah, I like her. I think it's going well. I just really want to let her talk and see how, find out about her and see how it goes. It's like the opposite of what she says, right?
What she's saying, yeah.
So she comes back for the bathroom. She's like, sorry for the time. And probably like, the producer wanted to talk to me, wanted to talk to you. So that 5-minute bathroom probably was 30 minutes. So now it's, and then she was like, I do feel steak stuck, but I'm not rude. I'm going to finish the date. I'll let him eat his steak or whatever. Because, before the commercial, it makes it look like she's going to escape out the bathroom window, right?
Right, of course.
So he starts to tell her about himself. Like, I was born here. And then as he's starting, we assume the next question will be like, tell me about yourself. But we don't know because it's going to start to rain. And she's getting nervous. She's like, I don't know. And he's like, I think they can close this roof. So they're kind of talking about that. And he's sort of like trying to motion to the waiter like, hey, can you come help us out?
Come on.
And you can see the wait staff kind of starting to run around because they must have this whole open area that they're trying to close, but they are filming right there with cameras and stuff. So she runs off. She grabs her drink, which is what I would do, and runs off. And, the waiters are like grabbing the plates and they're trying to close the roof and dry off the table and stuff. She was like, oh, this is a great indication. My date didn't even follow me. Well, probably they were like, come over here so we can talk to you.
Yes. She was very critical.
She was. And she's like, so she sits back down and she's trying to dry the seat off. And she said they dried the table off, but it did look like cloth seats. So she's sitting down, so probably is still wet.
And then his steak was practically gone. Did you see that part? I'm like, so the rain didn't mess up the dinner if he ate that much of his steak.
Yeah. And that's just editing, what we're going to get.
Yeah.
And so she's like, yeah, so I'm wet. And my pants are wet. So it's been a long day. So yeah, like, thank you so much. This was like a great date. And he goes, yeah, I would look forward to go out again. And she goes, I don't know. I don't feel like it's a love connection. But I mean, I loved meeting you. And she gives him a hug. And his talking head, he goes, I don't get it. Like, every relationship starts as a friendship. Like he's trying to be like, why did we have to be in love on the first date? Like, why couldn't we just get to know each other?
He was 100% correct.
Yeah. And he's like, I didn't feel like she hated me, but maybe this is like a normal barrier that happens with women. I don't know. But I mean, I felt like she could have dated me another time. Like, why not?
I agree 100%. I think he deserved a second date. First dates are weird.
Then again, we didn't see all of it because later she goes, on paper, he looked great, but he was a dick. The guy's a dick. So maybe for her to say he's a dick, it wasn't just he cut me off. She was like, I need to talk to Juan. I feel deflated and derailed. So now we've got like 3 choices. What if you had like a Harold? Okay. Or you had a David Wig. Okay. Or you had this guy. You're always going to choose this guy.
This guy. Yes. I feel like he was nervous. I don't think that she was really starting the conversations. I think he was trying to talk himself up, trying to impress her a little bit, and it came off as rude. Since she wasn't really,
I think he saw she had a nice watch, and was like, "This is a conversation starter. I like nice watches. Let's talk about timepieces." Right?
Yeah, I think that she should give him another. If I were her matchmaker, I'd say, "Look, go out with him again." Mm-hmm. I think second dates go way better than first dates.
Always.
In my matchmaking experience. Now, the couples that I have put together, I mean, I always encourage them. Second date is when you really can tell.
I have to tell you, I have set up people that then got married.
Me too.
Yes, for sure.
Wait, I don't know if anyone got married, but
they're together.
Some of them are together. Some of them were together for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. We know what we're
But for
doing.
but for her to say he's a dick, that leads me to believe that something was said we didn't see that maybe we'll find out next week. But to me, to say somebody is a dick just because they seem a little awkward or maybe they're bragging or whatever,
Right.
that doesn't make them a dick. If to me, it would be like he would have said, "Oh, you're 42?" Or how old is she? 52?
She's 52. Uh-huh.
52. To me, a dick would have been like, "You're 52. You don't at all look your age. You look great for your age." Or if he would have said, "Oh, you're into hedge funds? Really? Do you have a lot of women in your field?" Something like
Mm-hmm.
that, that wouldn't have been
Or
sort of offensive.
bitch, are you gonna finish that delicious looking ceviche, or are you just
Right.
gonna let it sit there and collect rain?
Yeah.
I just didn't pick up on anything like anything that would warrant him being labeled a dick.
Yeah. I mean, arrogant, yes. Maybe he's
Yeah,
arrogant, but maybe he's doing that to cover up because he's nervous,
I
right?
think so. Yeah, yeah,
Of
that's what
course,
I
next
think.
week they're going to show some horrible things he said, and we're going to be proven wrong.
And we're just gonna come back on here and say, well, as we all collectively saw, Mary Payne and I were very, very wrong. He most
And
definitely
they,
is a dick.
right. So she says she feels deflated and derailed. So next time on Match Me Abroad, which will be matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match, find me a find, catch me a catch.
Catch me
Next
a
week will be
catch.
fine.
Yep.
Next week will be find me a find, and then the next one will
Mm-hmm.
be catch me a catch.
Catch me a catch.
So
You
it's
got this down.
I know I've listened to the song a million times. So it's Nathaly's first day in Columbia, and she meets with Juan right away, and he takes her
Mm.
directly to a salsa class. And it dances with her. And she says, "This is her nightmare." And he says, "Nope, right away. We're going to teach you how to be sexy right away."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh my God, oh my God." But I mean, like, again, she goes up to the club and dances with her friends.
It's
We're going to
different.
have,
You get pumped
yeah,
up. It's like, being in a football player's locker room where you just hype each other up, hype each other up. You know what?
yeah.
We're the biggest, we're the strongest. And then you go out on a date and you act like this guy who was on a date with Susan, which I'm thinking, since they're using the same matchmaker, what was the
Mm.
guy's name she went out with?
Miguel.
If Miguel has a clean booty, maybe Nathaly will date him.
He's too old for her.
You think so? But she may
Yeah,
like older men.
she's 25. He's 51. That's too old. That's double the age. No.
Yeah, I guess.
She don't want that. That her mother would for sure not approve of that. No.
Oh.
Yeah.
But he does have a good job.
And a clean booty.
And he's rich and a clean booty hole.
So Nathaly tells us she has a fear of being sexy. So then Stanika meets with the guy we saw at the end of this episode. His name is Noureddin, and he's very good looking.
Yes.
Very good looking. And they're walking, and he's taller than her, and he's attractive. And he says, "Oh, we have to go over here. You have to meet my friend who makes the best goat head." And she's like, "Goat head? What?" But
and it literally was a goat's head.
And then they showed them eating something, which 100% they're not eating goat head. They just edited it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think he's doing that for shock value, right?
Well, it shocked the hell out of me.
Me too. And she's like, "What? They don't have that in Jackson, Mississippi." So Susan meets with Juan and explains, like, "I'm sorry, the situation with Miguel was just not a match. Like, he was arrogant and he didn't let me talk. He didn't want to hear a thing about me. He didn't ask me a question." And Juan says, "Susan thinks she's more open than she is. And this is going to be problemo."
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then we have a new guy named Mark.
Yes.
Mark is looking for his perfect mate, and he's hoping he's going to find that person in Morocco. Now, is he going to have Nina as his matchmaker, I wonder? No, I think we see a
I don't think so. It's a different one. Yeah.
different woman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he meets with a woman on the phone who tells him the law in Morocco is you cannot have any public affection. You can't hold hands. You can't hug. You can't have any intimacy in public. I wonder if it's the same. Because remember when, you haven't watched the season 90 the other way. Well, there is Mahmoud and Nicole, and he lives in Egypt, and she goes over there. And she's been back and forth. They've been together for years.
That's the blonde girl with the bangs and and the bob? Okay.
They can hug in the airport. Like when she arrives, they can hug in the airport, but otherwise they can't hold hands or anything out on the street.
Well, so why is it okay in the airport?
I don't know.
It's still in the same country.
She's like, you can't, when she arrives, like, "Can we hug?" He goes, "It's okay in this setting in the airport, but like on the street, they can't."
Huh. Interesting.
I wonder if that's the same in Morocco. That's interesting. So, Katarina tells Harold, you're going to meet your date. She's very sexy and blonde, and you won't be disappointed. So he goes out with this beautiful blonde girl on a paddle boating situation, but it's like a paddle
A
boating
car.
situation where it looks like a car.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. We need that here in the States.
And did you notice he's holding like his little notebook of
Yes, of
inventions to
course.
his chest?
Yes. And there's probably a rock somewhere there too.
And he says she is very attracted. He's not
Mhm,
disappointed in this choice at all. So then she says, and I'm sure this is edited to look weird, but she says, what's the most important thing to you? And he
mhm.
says, your pleasure. It's like a Chick-fil-A, my pleasure.
Yeah,
And he
right.
says, what's the most important thing to you? And he says, your pleasure. And she goes, oh, for me too, my pleasure. And he looks over at her like, huh?
Would you
This
like to look at my
girl
book of inventions?
This girl does not want to go to the United States and live in that apartment and stay in that bunk bed with the furniture lined up against the wall.
No, it's gonna be like, who was the couple? It was Mike and the blonde with the curly hair and the big blue eyes.
Nathaly,
Nathaly, when she went
crazy
there, she's like,
pants.
whoa, yeah, like she did not feel his house and none of it. She was like, ew, gross. I think it's gonna be a situation like that if he decides to date her.
Nathaly did not want to live in the wood. She didn't want
No.
to live in the wood, but she did want to bang Mike. But this girl does not want to bang him. No.
Oh, she might. You never
No. And
know.
I'm worried about this whole situation with Harold. I'm very worried. He's only got 2 weeks. I'm very worried.
And you know what the strange thing is? A lot of people who are autistic have no interest in dating or sex
Mhm.
or anything like that. So, I mean, he's all about these things. So, I think with a little bit of guidance, he'll be
Mhm.
okay. And a new haircut, and a new haircut. Most definitely a new
He
hair.
he wants to find a life partner to share his interests now that he has like a job and a
Right.
401k. And so I get it, but she's really going to be searching hard for somebody to date him. I really think so.
Yeah, I think Susan and Harold are going to be the toughest ones to get matches.
I think you're right. I think Stanika and Nathaly are going to be like, all right, look at these hot guys out here. I'm for it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think they're way more open than Susan is. And Harold's just Harold.
Now, let me ask you this about the show, and maybe I can find out if I ever get to talk to these people. Do
Hmm.
you think Stanika actually does know somebody who dated a Moroccan guy, or she just applied to be on a show like this and they said, we're going to put you with the matchmaker in Morocco? And
I
she's like,
think
all right.
she had a friend who did maybe meet someone who was Moroccan and saw how good looking he was and was sold.
Okay. I
That's
haven't seen
that's
this.
but you but
I haven't seen
but
this
you know
Moroccan
me.
Jackson. Yeah.
I
Never
you need to
seen
have
him.
your people out there searching for him right now.
We'll walk up in the grocery
Yeah.
store. Anybody here from Morocco?
Have you seen this guy? We don't have a picture of him. This is just what I drew. This is what I think he looks like. So yeah, that'll be interesting to find out if we even find out. But yeah,
If
yeah.
they tell us the truth. Oh my God.
Hmm.
All right. Well, Keisha, tell us what's happening over on the Libra Lounge. You were out last week, yes?
Yeah, so we're
In
recording
Vegas.
tomorrow.
Okay.
And I don't, I never know what we're talking about. Whatever stupid shit that celebrities are doing, we're going to
Mhm.
talk about that. Whatever's heavy in pop culture, and we are doing our own little recap of Mama June.
Oh, good Lord. Are you
Don't you
going to talk
start your
about
hating. Don't you
Okay.
start your hating.
Are you going to talk about your Vegas trip where you went to that weird bar?
Oh yeah, we always start at the beginning of the show, just like what's going on in our life or something that just popped up. So we'll most definitely talk about that because we saw some things on that strip, that Vegas strip, that did
Uh-huh.
not need to be seen. Like I wish I can unseen them.
Really? Okay.
Yes, and some of the things that we saw in the airport that just were not okay.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm
lots
very
of
worried
that.
about my Vegas trip in November. Very worried.
This isn't your first time going, is it?
I've never been to Vegas.
Girl, we're about to show out.
And
We're
I'm going to
showing
be
all
there
the way out.
and I'm going to be there for 5 days. Party, party,
Mm-hmm.
party. It's just I'm very worried about my level of illness by the time I leave there.
Well, we're going to the dispensary, right?
No, girl. I could go to the dispensary here. No, 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 no.
It's legal where you are?
It is, well, there's a dispensary right by here, but you have to have a medical card.
Oh, no. No.
But
I
no,
went
I don't.
twice in 5 days.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not. That's not my jam. It's not my
You don't want a
jam.
gummy or 2 or 3 or 4 or 10?
No, but let me tell you what. One of our sponsors is microdose.com, and you can go over there. Use code
Oh,
Pink Shade.
okay. Well, then
I've,
just do
I've told
that.
you about that. I really don't. I really don't like. I do not. I do not like to be high, and I'm basing this
Mm-hmm.
all on any pot smoking experience I had in college, and I can just tell you
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
So I didn't either back in the day. It made my
Hmm.
head hurt. I didn't like the way I felt. But it wasn't
Yeah.
until I got lupus and
Well,
that
yeah,
pain level is, but then I also, now I enjoy it as well. So,
yeah.
so yeah.
I think that in Texas, can't you get a medical card?
I don't think so.
You don't? Probably not in
Mm-mm,
Texas.
mm-mm.
Shh.
No.
I'm gonna tell you
They
what
don't
you
want us to
can
have
get.
nothing here in Texas.
You can get one in Oklahoma because when we drove, we landed in Texas to see some friends, and then we drove to Oklahoma to
Uh-huh.
where my husband's family lives. And once you hit that border into Oklahoma, it is nothing but billboards about 1-800 pot doctor. You can call all
Yeah.
these doctors that'll just give you a card on the phone.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
and there's dispensaries everywhere in Oklahoma.
okay, I tell you what, you don't have to partake in it, but you at
Okay.
least got to come with me so you can experience.
Yeah, I'd like to go in and
Yeah.
just see what it's about for sure.
Yeah, and you get to talk to your bud experts. It's
Hmm.
so cool in there, and you will see people from every walk of life in there, and we're all
Yeah,
in there trying to get high.
but I'm sure that you did not bring any across state lines and bring it back with you because that's against the
Girl,
law.
do you think I want one of those German shepherds to bite my ass because I have 3 gummies on me? No, thank you. I'll just wait till I get home.
That's like Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, and they're in Thailand, and they go to a
Hmm.
dispensary, and Pepsi, their house
Uh-huh.
guy comes in and was like, "Now whatever you buy, you have to enjoy it
Yes.
here in Thailand." And they're
Yeah.
like, "You think we want to go to a Thailand prison?" No, we don't.
No,
Yes,
yeah, so whenever a housekeeping always gets extra treats whenever I leave from Vegas because I
that's
can't take it
nice.
with me, so just leave it for them.
And do you put a little note? Enjoy. Thank you for cleaning my room.
No, but you know what? When we go in November, that's what I'll do. Hope you
Yeah,
enjoy. Nice, have
yeah.
a
Just
chocolate.
Yeah, sometimes you leave a
Yeah,
little 10 or a 20 there and thank you for cleaning my room. But
yeah.
for you, you just say, this is not regular chocolate. Eat with caution.
Eat this at the end of your work shift today,
You don't want
okay?
them to
Once
be
you get
popping it
home.
like, oh, this is a Hershey's, and then be like, whoa, I'm trying to clean these rooms. Yeah.
That's what happened to
Mm-mm.
me the first time we went, and I had to
Yeah.
be rolled into Caesar's Palace on a luggage
That,
rack.
that's what you
Because
told me. You had to sit on the
I
luggage rack.
forgot.
Yeah.
I don't even remember it. Yeah, that's the
It's
crazy
like me
part.
when I get
Yeah.
those back injections. I'm all of a sudden in the car. I don't know how I got there.
What's going on? Huh? How'd I
Yeah.
get here?
What'd you give me again? Ketamine? That's probably not something I should ever take again until the next time I come for my back injections.
Right?
Oh, Lord. Well, Keisha, thank you very much. Y'all know to follow Keisha at the Libra Lounge with Keisha. That's her podcast. And you know that you can also follow her on Instagram. Just look that up. And we always link it in the show notes. So you can just click it to follow Keisha's podcast and Instagram. And of course, as you know, we're out here whoring ourselves on the daily for Instagram followers at Pink Shade Pod. If you want to have more content for Pink Shade, you can go over to Pink Shade Prime. Everything can be found if you just go to pinkshadepodcast.com. Over on Prime, we're covering 90 Day Love in Paradise. We are covering Indian matchmaking and Jewish matchmaking. And I've got some bonus stuff over there for my interview, my chat with Kate Casey. I've got bonus stuff over there with Larison Campbell, who I talked to her about the podcast Witness Devil in the Ditch on the free feed. And then we did a
Mhm.
bonus episode over there about the murder in my family because she was talking about the murder in her family. So it's only fair. That's over there also on Prime if you want to find out about that murder. And what else? Oh, next week. No, yeah, this week over on Prime, I'm going to put a little bonus chat I did with my mom and my sisters about double names in
Oh,
the South.
that's
Double
so
names
cute.
in the South. Yeah, there's some
And
doozies on there. Doozies. There's
no.
some doozies, but we don't remark on the name. We don't say, oh, that's a good one, that's a bad one. We just say some that we know.
Okay, because I'm sure there's a story behind Mary Payne too.
Yes, my grandfather, George Payne. Yeah.
There you go.
Jeep. If you keep going down the line and you got to come up with new names for George Payne, you just start going. He's the 4, he's the 5, he's the 6. What are we going to call him? I did hear something cute, though. Larison told me on that bonus episode we did, or she may have told me on the free feed, but that when somebody is a 5th, you know, because when you're the 3rd, you can go Trip or Trey, but the 4th, there's not a good thing for. You got to go back to the original name. But when you're a 5th, you can go Quint and call him Quinn. Cute.
I've never heard that before.
That's cute, right?
That's the first time I've heard that.
Rather just calling him 5.
Come here, 5. I got 5 on it. Come here, 5. Give me a high 5.
Like 6 on Blossom.
Oh. Yeah, that was my show back in the day. Like, I wore hats everywhere because I wanted to be Blossom so bad.
Or on Life After Lockup, Lindsay's friend is named s1e2. 6.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's not her government name.
I don't think that's her
I just
Christian
have a
name.
feeling. No, I don't think so here. No.
All right. Thank y'all again. And we're going to play Matchmaker for you again. Here we go. Is it playing? Shit. Here we go.
Oh, man. Okay, here we go.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find. Catch me a catch.
It's going to cut off real suddenly here.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, look through your book and make me a perfect match.
All right. Thanks, Keisha.
Bye.
Bye.